Now let's look at another example. Say we have hydrogen gas plus oxygen gas producing water. And we look at the delta G for this reaction. And so it's the Gibbs free energy of formation of water. It would be 2 moles of delta G formation water minus delta G formation of hydrogen, but hydrogen is an element and this is the most stable form. So delta G formation is 0. Same thing for oxygen. So all we have to do is look up delta G formation of water. So if we do that, water liquid is minus 237 kilojoules per mole. So this reaction has a delta G formation of negative 474 kilojoules. So we see that it's negative, so this is going to be a spontaneous reaction. So if I take a container and I put hydrogen gas and oxygen gas in the container, then I would expect water formation, but nothing happens. So why? Even if both of these are 1 atmosphere partial pressure. So what's going on? Well, there's an activation barrier for this reaction to occur. So even though it's spontaneous, there's a barrier that needs to be overcome to initiate this reaction. So remember in the kinetics chapter that we had reaction, so reactant, product, transition state, and we have an activation energy. So even though reactant to product, delta G is less for product than reactant, so delta G is negative in this case, we have a high activation energy and we need to overcome. So the reaction is spontaneous, but we have a large barrier. So spontaneity doesn't tell us how fast a reaction is going to occur. This reaction occurs very, very slowly, or not at all, at room temperature, with hydrogen and oxygen just sitting there mixed. However, if we provide a little spark in order to initiate this reaction, then the reaction is going to go explosively. So we need to overcome the barrier in order to start the reaction. So spontaneity just tells us which direction for the reaction is spontaneous. So the forward direction is spontaneous, the backward direction is not spontaneous. It doesn't tell us how fast the reaction occurs. If I'm on a building, spontaneity just tells me that the sign of delta G would tell me which direction is spontaneous. Me falling is spontaneous, me flying up is not spontaneous. And if I never step off the building, the reaction never occurs. It just tells me which direction would be spontaneous if I did.